Beneath the faded word. Like 1,000 shearing sheds across the land, ours held old boxes and trunks filled with relics of past lives, and here's a peek inside one of them. It sat out in the shearing shed for 40 years or more, with cobwebs, dust and baler twine and sheep dung on the floor. An old and rusted lockwood kept its secrets from my eyes, a cabin trunk of leather, there since 1945. I asked my dad who owned it and what he kept it for. He said, "It's your Uncle Basil's that he brought back from the war, so don't you bloody touch it or I'll tan your bloody hide." But that only made me more intrigued to see what was inside. I wondered at its secrets and the mysteries that were hid beneath the faded word "Tobruk" stenciled on its lid. Near Wilcannia, where only hardy cattlemen will go, Uncle Basil had a station, Baden Park, near Ivanhoe. A strong and gentle man who once rode the Birdsville track just to prove he wasn't hampered by the shrapnel in his back. So I stood alone and weighed it up. Which should I decide? Should I leave the memories undisturbed or take a look inside? I knew I had to take a look to see what it would hold. Medals, spoils from the war, guns or jewels or gold. My old man went off fishing of a Sunday with Bob Gray, so if I was going to do it, that would have to be the day. I started out determined. I was done by 2:10, and with half a broken hacksaw blade I cut the padlock through. But even as I opened it, the truth was plain and clear. The old trunk held no gold or jewels. There was no treasure here, just a pile of letters tied with string, an old moth-eaten flag, a rusty metal helmet and a mouldy weapon bag, a cup made from a jam tin, an emu feathered hat, and an old newspaper clipping with the title "Desert Rat." Some photos of the pyramids, a rusty bayonet, an IOU, Jack Carmody £2, a 2-up debt. I folded out a faded map as the day began to wane, with names of foreign places like Benghazi, Tobruk, El Alamein. And then I came across a satchel with a little leather book and a photo of some young blokes, so I took a closer look. It was 20 young recruits, their faces tanned and worn, from places like Kahuna, Moama and Bamorn. Farmers, shearers, stockmen, off to fight a noble war for the empire in a foreign place they'd never seen before. And scrawled across the bottom in a writing rough and coarse, 20 names beneath the words, "The Echuca Boys, Light Horse." Then I turned the photo over, and there up on the back were words that sent a chill through me and made my mouth go slack. A solemn list of 20, the fate of all the same. Each one, except Uncle Basil, had a date beside his name. Some said April 43, some said June, July. A record from our history, the date that each had died. Then I turned back to the photo and looked in every face, and written over each one was a month, a year, a place. Grinning sun-bronzed soldiers' faces, each now with a name, like November 1943. The words, El Alamein. I wondered, did they think, as they sailed across the foam, that amongst them only one, Uncle Basil, would come home? Then I opened up the leather book, and written there inside was a record of their actions and how each of them had died. A mortar shell out on patrol, a sniper in the night. A landmine took one's legs off. He died before first light. The death of each was brutal. The reality was stark. 40 pages written there, and I finished just on dark. And as I closed the pages on those men who'd kept us free, I turned to see my father, standing, watching silently. He didn't do his block as I reckoned that he would. He just said, "Come on, pack it up. I reckon that we should." So Dad and I, we packed away those treasures from the past, and when we came across the photo, it was put aside till last. Then, with new respect and love, I recorded there his fate. Next to Uncle Basil, I wrote April, 68. Then Dad and I, we packed it up and put it back again and wrapped it in a bit of tarp to keep it from the rain. We never spoke about it or discussed what I'd read. I reckon that was his way to respect those blokes long dead. You know, there's a statue of a digger in most every country town, with a list of names of locals who fought with great renown. And now, when I go by, I remember what I read, sitting on the floor out there in our old shearing shed. And I think of Uncle Harry, lost somewhere on Ambon, on Kokoda Uncle Jack, and in England, Uncle John. And I think about that photo, with sadness and remorse, that mob of grinning faces, the Echuca boys, Light Horse. In a cemetery near Ivanhoe lies a man who's left his mark, Basil Thomas of Echuca, to Brook and Baden Park.